Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you are watching from. Welcome back to the Loud Whispers podcast. I am Alex.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Hafa.
And we are super excited to be back for round 2 of our podcast after receiving such illustrious reviews this last week. Thank you everyone who tuned in, checked us out, left comments, liked. It's really
illustrious.
Tuned in? What is this, the 1930s?
Thank you for tuning in to our show.
Yeah.
Fix their bunny ears on their
Absolutely.
their television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fix your antenna.
It's very analog.
The dial. Yeah, that's how they did it, right?
Well, anyway, after that rude interruption dating me for some reason. But we have a lot of cool things planned for this show. We're going to do, again, some fun activities. We're going to talk about some different topics.
Yes, we're going to do some burpees. And some... No, I'm just kidding. No, are you guys not down with the fitness?
I didn't sign up for that. That wasn't in the contract.
Okay.
No.
Not on the pod.
Not on the pod.
I'm a sweaty hot tomato when I work out, so that is not going anywhere on video. So, but this has been so much fun to do with you guys. I just have to say that too.
It has been.
This has been so much fun, and just to have everything like up on social media and up out in the world is kind of weird, but it's really cool, and I just think it's just been super fun.
It's
to
weird
with you guys, so I just want to say that too.
To say things and then them be put online and people reacting to things that are being said.
Yes. Also, I just noticed you have headphones on. Why don't we have headphones?
I forgot to take them off before we started recording.
Like, you're in charge of sound.
Yes.
Yes, I like it though.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Wow, look how it turned on me.
I do have an earpiece in.
Look at these
I
bitches.
forgot to give you your earpiece today.
Yeah, I have an earpiece.
I have someone talking in my ear right now. They're telling me to.
I have 5 producers talking in my ear right now.
We have to keep going. We got to go to the next segment here.
I'll take that as a cue then. So, our first segment we're going to get into, and we're switching up the segments a little bit.
Yes.
We've, edited the podcast a little bit, watching the first episode back and listening back.
We've learned and growed.
Yes.
Grown?
Yeah, great.
We've grown. We've grown.
We've grown.
Was
we are
there growth?
grown.
I, for one, have
There was
growed.
growth.
Wonderful.
There was certainly a growth, and I will get it removed later. Our first segment today is going to be The Moment, okay? So this is the moment where we can talk about anything that is exciting us in our lives, some recommendations, something that we are really, really into right now.
Yes.
And I'm going to go first, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
As you should, yeah.
As you
Can I
should.
go first?
As is your
my
right as a
God.
woman.
So we are going to talk about Mayhem. We're going to talk about Lady Gaga's newest album,
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, some disease,
some killer.
some killer. Have you guys listened to it?
Yes.
I've
yes.
heard a few of the songs. I've not. I'm. Don't hurt me, but I've not listened to all of it yet. Yeah.
We can talk after. We can talk after. It's
There may be mayhem.
there may be mayhem indeed. But I think it's such a great album. It took me probably a second or third listen to really kind of get into all of it. But I think it's so great. I think Lady Gaga is really in her bag right now.
The SNL performance
Was amazing.
outstanding.
Incredible. I think she's really just like tuned into who she is and her artistry. Again, I think she's really letting us into who she is and kind of like what's going on with her for the first time in a long time.
Nothing hits like recession music. Nothing hits like it.
She said, I'm giving it to y'all.
She said, it's about to get bad, but let's get real bad.
She's like, but I'm here to give you an album you can just dance all night at the club to.
Yes,
You can just listen from top to bottom and just feel a story, feel emotions, feel ecstasy, but also feel, depressed and sadness
What's
as well.
that one song that she talks about? I can be your girlfriend for the weekend. You can be my boyfriend for the night.
Garden of Eden.
Yeah. Oh my God,
That's
I
a good
love
one.
that
We just heard
song.
that one the other day. Yeah.
Oh, we probably don't have copyright, so sorry.
That wasn't that song. That was Twinkle Twinkle Little
please
Star.
don't sue us. We stan.
Yes. We love you, Gaga. But,
Gaga, you want to be
she's
a
also-
guest?
Honestly.
She was also on Las Culturistas, and
She
she's
was,
been
yeah.
on in her interview bag too, and just talking about the album, and that has made me respect it so much more too. So
The
that has
hustle.
been my
Yeah.
obsession for sure.
No,
this past-
I think the songs are amazing.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. I love how she approaches sort of the philosophical terms of life and death and heaven and hell. And, a lot of things in our life tend to be, this binary thinking a lot of times. And it feels like she's like going into it and going like, it's not that simple all
And
the time.
the fucking production on it is great
yeah.
as well.
It's
Like that.
incredible. Yeah, she really did that with this album.
Yeah, and by the way, the SNL performance we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, incredible.
No,
There's not a lot of
performer,
artists
yeah.
that go on SNL and understand the medium because yes, you have an audience, but you're also performing for the audiences at home watching.
And then can host the damn thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And act
Double
her
duty.
ass off and do all that, and then give 2 second performances.
Yes.
That are
Yes.
just show her range as an artist. That just show like how the curb appeal, so to
Versatile,
speak,
yeah.
of the album.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true pop album that I don't think she's done in a minute, and I just love it. I
No,
just think
as a
it's
performer,
giving everything.
She's incredible. She's
yeah.
doing the thing. She's
the one.
incredible. She's a great actress, great performer, great artist, great everything. Just
Yeah.
Gaga, we love you. Thank you for existing.
Yes, thank you
Yes.
for everything you do for the queer community. But we are waiting for Telephone Part 2.
Oh,
Where
ring,
is
ring.
the where
Ring,
is the
ring.
Beyonce collab?
my God.
We're waiting. Okay.
Patiently.
We
We're
want the two
waiting.
queens to collaborate.
If it's not on Part 3, I don't know.
She did say
don't
that
know.
there was a part 2 coming. Like recently in an interview I saw. She was
if it's not on
confirmed that it's
Beyonce's third
coming.
album, though, I don't know.
Well,
I don't
we'll
know.
talk. We'll,
We'll
my
talk.
my
We'll talk.
people
We
will
can
contact
talk.
your people.
Yes.
We can
Yeah.
talk.
Yes.
And I will talk to Beyonce
Absolutely.
because that's my almost birthday twin. So we're like the same person.
But speaking of killers,
Yes.
my moment
Yes.
this week is
Give it
the
to
fact
us.
that there is a brand new Hunger Games book out this week.
What?
And I know this feels extremely like 2012 middle school
I'm into
excitement level. But when the first book came out, I remember I was in middle school. I got the book from one of my teachers. I took it. We were going camping for the weekend, and I just sat in my parents' camper all weekend long, just reading the book, like crying, experiencing. So I'm very excited that there's a new book out. It's called Sunrise on the Reaping. Thank you, Miss Suzanne, for more literature to
Suzanne
consume.
Collins.
And I believe it follows the backstory in the original games of Hamish Abernathy, who, if
Wait, that's his last name?
yeah,
I had to this day.
Abernathy.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the
more you learn.
Abernathy, and I think it's basically his story of how he became who he was, or who he is, how he became Katniss's trainer. The only unfortunate thing is I'm only able to find it on Amazon or Target, so I am going to have to probably make a Target run. and yeah, that's.
Listen, but my Latino blood is boiling already just
I
hearing
know.
this conversation.
I know. I'm sorry, but we do what we have to do for Miss Collins.
For Suzanne.
deal.
For Zan, yeah.
We can for Hamish.
Yeah. In these trying times, I need some literature that really reflects what's going on in the real world. So
I mean, honestly, it's quite reflecting. So,
it's like a mirror.
well, let me tell you, I've been obsessed with this show called From.
Good one.
It is. I recently got a free trial to MGM Plus. This is not a plug. I am not trying to, tell you to go get MGM Plus.
But if you want to sponsor,
But MGM Plus, if you want to sponsor the pod, hey,
MGM, Mr. Gay Man.
Mr. Gay Man, Mr. Gay Man Plus.
I've been wanting to be sponsored by you for a long time, Mr. Gay Man Plus.
But okay, so From is this really, really cool kind of like sci-fi horror show. And it stars Harold Perrineau. Perrineau? I think it's Perrineau.
Perineum. I'm sorry, Harold. You deserve better than that one.
We're just gonna keep it, moving forward there.
You were thinking
Thank you
it
very
too.
much. Listen, but he's an incredible actor. The first time that I saw him act in anything was in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. Harold Perrineau played Mercutio.
He was honestly one of the first like queer representations, like just like proud and
Yes,
out, but like
yeah.
it wasn't on the nose queer. It was just like he just is who he is, you know.
Yeah. And he was also in The Matrix.
Yes.
He played Link. Very, very cool. But in this show, it's amazing. The show is about this. It centers around this family that is gone on a trip, and then all of a sudden they keep passing the same little town, and it's really weird because like they're just going forward, and it turns out that they've sort of like hit this. I don't know, like special time space continuum thing.
Don't spoil too much.
No, that's not. No, that's part of it's the first episode. You're gonna find out.
That's true.
You go and find out. Okay, so they get stuck in this little town, and there's people already in this little town that sort of have gone through the same experiences. As soon as the sun comes down, some terrible things start to happen at night. Okay, and so the whole story centers around this group of people that are stuck in this little town, and it's like they're stuck in like a time bubble type of thing. And then every now and then, like new people show up and come in, and it's the most interesting show to me right now because it feels like. People are, someone that was an engineer before is now a doctor, or like it's like you take up different roles, Have you guys ever seen Lost?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, which actually Harold was also in Lost. I played Michael. Yeah, very, very awesome show.
Weirdly, he's looking for his son in both shows
I
too.
know. Yeah, he's always looking for his son.
What a guy.
So, but I really, really love From. It's in its third season right now. My free trial ended, so MGM Plus, if you want to,
Mr. Gay Man, if you want to give us a treat.
I'm just saying, I want to continue watching season 3, but right now I can't because, yeah.
We gotta fix that.
Please, MGM.
We gotta fix that.
So thank you and thank you, Harold Perrineau.
I'll have to watch that. I have to add that to my list.
Please.
I don't know if you guys have been seeing lately, but there have been quite a large amount of town halls that have been happening with Republican senators and representatives, and the response has not been the nicest. A lot of people are not very happy about...
That's to put it mildly.
That's to put it mildly. A lot of people are not happy with Musk and Doge and what they feel is an illegal, unconstitutional overstep of the federal government, which no shit. But to just name a few of them, there's all of these are GOP representatives. Representative Chuck Edwards of North Carolina, Michael Baumgartner of Washington, Rich McCormick of Georgia, Richard Hudson, who is actually the chair of the GOP's campaign arm. He recently, after all these horrible town halls have been going on, told his colleagues not to engage in any more town halls, just because he said that it's not going to make anything better. It's just going to make things worse. And I, for one, think it's a really funny fact and a really funny point to be in this country where our representatives don't even feel comfortable holding town halls with their constituents because they have become so beholden to one person or corporate interest, the president, a third party that has been cosplaying as the president.
Yeah. Which, mind you, it's Elon Musk is not an elected official.
Nope.
Showed up out of the blue. He is also the richest man on earth at this point right now.
They've also said that he's not the administrator of Doge either. He's just like a special White House guy, and so he doesn't have any authority to actually do anything he's doing.
What does Doge stand for?
Department of Governmental Efficiency.
Efficiency. What are they making efficient again? Exactly.
Elon Musk's wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His wallet is very efficient at this point.
So I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Something.
Yeah. No. Honestly, like people are fed up with just the fact that. And these aren't Democrats either. These are like hardcore Republicans that are showing up to these town halls, and
Republicans, independents. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sure some Democrats are in there too, but a lot of Republicans are going in and saying, "Hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this?
Why
We
are
did
you
not
cutting my
elect this
VA
man."
benefits? Why are you cutting my Social
At the
Security?
end of
Why are
the
you
day,
cutting my
these
Medicaid?
are American citizens.
Yes.
Point blank
Constituents.
period.
Regardless of
Constituents,
party.
regardless, and who are fed up with this power grab and seeing this kind of unconstitutional bullshit happen. And
There was one of the town halls where I think it's this one. Are we gonna watch the video?
Yes, let's watch this video. So in case
Ooh.
anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, this is a great example.
Yes.
This is I can't remember which GOP member this is, but this is a GOP member basically being excoriated by his own constituents. So here we go. Enjoy.
That is cutting spending.
He's not.
And he is looking to find efficiencies. And I support that effort.
Hey, hang on.
Is interested in fair
Are they yelling "tax the rich" right now? Oh my God, that's insane!
some people have been chanting that for years.
Wow,
But
wow!
here we are,
This is
people
in
caught up.
Nebraska,
Wasn't
you
there
guys.
And in Nebraska,
wasn't there
yeah.
a senator from Vermont that was saying that about 10 years ago
I
and
don't
ran
know
for
him.
president?
I don't know him.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, the rings a little bell. But look, let's keep on. Maybe he'll make an appearance.
As we saw during his first term, President Trump successfully used tariffs to rewrite.
You know, I get sometimes 450 calls a day in my office, and so I always try to deal with my constituents with a great deal of respect. And I hear them. I know that there are some angry people in my congressional district. I also know there's a lot of people who feel like America's back on track. And tonight I put myself here because I think there's value just in allowing somebody to come express themselves.
That was Representative Mike Flood of Nebraska, and I'm from the Midwest. Do you know how badly you have to fuck up to get Midwestern people to come to a town hall?
Yeah.
Do you know how much you have to fuck up, how much you have to piss them off to get them to come out of their house, travel, because it's Nebraska, everything's far away, everything's spread out. They have to make a plan, leave their house, get dinner, go to this just to yell at their representative. Like, do you know how much you have to fuck up and piss people off?
Midwesterners are super nice.
They're so chill. We're
and
so chill.
kind, and
You
very
really,
chill.
Really have to curdle their cheese curds.
You do. You really have to curdle some cheese curd. Like,
What the
And he was saying some people think America's back on track. Back on what track?
What?
On what track?
this track is going off a cliff.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna Thelma and Louise this shit real quick.
One of the things that I loved like seeing recently was that there was this tweet from Trump saying, or Truth Social, whatever it was, a post of him saying, if I get elected, like on day 3, you'll see the best economy you've ever seen, the biggest paychecks, the best jobs, and here we are, almost 100 days in. And the economy's tanking, recession's about to make a comeback. The price of everything is just up.
Yeah.
What? Oh, and then Trump was doing the whole Tesla thing the other day. Did you guys see that?
The Tesla ad campaigns, the commercials in front of the White House. Are we joking?
It's the Tesla-thon. Come to the White House and
Yeah,
get your free
literally.
Tesla.
Like next, are we gonna do Flavor of Love for Trump and Elon? Like, what the fuck is happening?
They're so desperate with Tesla because there's no APR.
Their stocks are plummeting.
I mean, in general,
all the stocks are plummeting.
Right? We were just looking at the stocks. We were looking January 17th. It was riding fine. It was actually the highest it's been in a hot minute. And then you just see a decline, and it's like, what happened? I wonder.
I was watching
around then
this video. One of this girl I follow, who I went to college with, she is now an economist. Her name is Jessica Burbank. Follow her. She's very smart, really amazing.
Shout out to Jessica.
she's been on some shows, like being interviewed and stuff too, and she literally just made a video of just like this. None of this is how economics work.
No.
None of this whole plan is how economics actually work, and what people are telling you, what they're telling you, is not how this works.
The White House spokeswoman, Caroline Leavitt, she literally said that tariffs are going to be a tax break for the American people.
For the rich.
For the rich, yes, but for the average you and me,
How does
no.
how does that work as a tax? Because listen, the
It
thing
works
about
because
tariffs
it's a
is-
lie.
Well, no, I hear you, but listen, every time that you put a tariff on, a company or whatever it is, whether it's steel or it passes on to the consumer. Like, think about it. Like,
It's
if you're
it's an
running a
energy
business,
transfer, yeah.
Why would you? Oh no, I'm not going to raise the prices because I want my consumers to pay lower. No, you're a company. You want profits, right? Isn't that the whole thing
You
about
want to
capitalism?
break even, yeah.
So I that makes no sense to me. Like, I'm not trying to be a revolutionary here. Just really just going by the basics of it.
You would think.
Do we have any other videos from any of these other congressmen?
We do actually.
Breaking news, anger boiling just moments ago, boiling over at a town hall in Nebraska. Republican Congressman Mike Flood.
So this is the same one.
Oh, okay.
But that just kind of like highlights how bad this actually is.
I mean, it's really just turning into a
Yeah.
WWE match.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Yeah.
politics, and it's really just so baffling.
I think this one's
Tyranny is
great.
rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king.
Oh.
So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
His stance. Oh my God. Be humble.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power,
Ay, ay, ay.
I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected.
I love false
The
equivalencies.
funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you,
Whoa. Yeah, they're trampling on police officers right now, right? Yeah.
and not listening.
Hey, let's restore some order.
Not
Let's
listening.
restore some order. Hey, let's restore some order.
So
Stop
yelling
screaming
at
out.
me is not going to get any answer, okay? Yeah. I've seen Game of Thrones too. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on because if you want to, if you're not going
He's
to listen,
seen Game of Thrones, but doesn't realize that he is he's the Queen of Dragons.
Listen, if they're
And we all
yelling
know how that
shame
ends.
at you, if
Queen
they're
is
yelling
Queen is
shame,
right. Queen. Correct.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
The way he reacted, bruised ego. Bruised ego.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that's...
It's just so. I'd rather be
So
anywhere but here. It's so. I know better than you do.
But this is his job.
I know, it's
this is literally his job. His job is to do these types of things. Like this idea of like, oh, don't go to any more town halls because
No, that's fucked.
they're confronting.
Yeah.
That's your job. Your job is to communicate with the people. Your job is to represent the people. Are you abdicating that as well?
Yes.
Well, get ready for the people to come after you then and yell shame at you. And
Last night I
You
was
know?
I was really thinking over this, and I was like, where does this kind of reach a fever pitch? And I'm thinking, it's in the midterms, I think, coming up, because a lot of these people, what they're concerned about is Musk and Doge, and what a lot of these Republicans can't seem to grasp is that they are all choosing the side of Doge and Musk. And that's not what the people want. That's not what their constituents want. So when it comes to the midterms, it's really going to be a choice of, do you stand with your constituents that voted you in, or do you stand with this essentially fake government agency and its fake leader? Yeah. So I think that's where it really comes to a fever pitch, and they're dealt with a very difficult choice they have to make.
And I think, it's all boiled down to fear. Like, obviously, these small men are very afraid for their positions and maybe feel like they have to comply with, which I'm not trying to give sympathy to these people.
No,
But trying to understand them and why they're...
Yeah, I'm trying to understand maybe that perspective of, like, maybe they feel, and just the historic kind of mirroring is crazy, but maybe that they feel some sort of, that they have to comply with this bullshit. And I think the people are going to eventually rise up, but I hope we get to that place where we can make sure we have our voices heard, and we can make sure that we
luckily
let people know.
There are people all around the country
absolutely
that are fighting the good fight, that are causing good trouble. And a few of those instances are, number one, yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, I saw there was a judge that just blocked the all-inclusive transgender military ban, saying that it's dripping with animus, it's dripping with pretext, essentially just saying that it is othering and insinuating that all trans people are somehow lesser than and less capable, which if you've met a trans person, that's the furthest thing from the truth.
What happened to respect? Simple, just that, like the basic, bare minimum. What happened to respect? I don't listen. I understand maybe you not understanding someone else's perspective. I get that. I understand you maybe not being able to see yourself in their shoes or
not agreeing with it even. Okay,
that's
sure.
fine. That's fine. But respect of just like, okay, cool. Well, that's not my life, so I'm not going to tell you how to live yours. Right? Isn't that the whole principle of the United States of, listen, we're all here. We're in this country together. Let's respect one another. At the end of the day, we are Americans. That's the thing that to me is like, oh, red flag going off. And this isn't a new thing either. It's been happening for years. It's just that now it's like even more prominent, And
I think the thing is that the other side always tries to pin the identity politics on the other. That conservatives are policing our identity politics, and their argument is that we are doing the same thing, right? That we are creating all of these letters and things to add to LGBTQ plus that are policing them and taking their rights away and taking the things that they can say away, when in reality we're just trying to create an inclusive an inclusive world where respect can exist and where we can mutually understand and respect each other with hopefully a common language.
I'd like to remind us that the political spectrum that we talk about, left and right, has to do with economics. It does not have to do with identity, with gender, with sexuality, with that I would argue is humanity. That I would argue is about respect. Yeah. Okay? As simple as that. If you go to the doctor and you say, hey, I have a fever or I have pain in my back, the doctor's not going to look and say, I don't believe you.
Well, they might.
Okay. But then you would say that's a bad doctor.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So in this day and age, it's just like, hello, you guys, listen, let's just tone it down a little bit, okay?
Everything's very reactionary at this point. Yeah.
And it's reactionary, because people say it's okay to react in that way. It's people, monkey see, monkey do. People think it's okay to say mean things or call people these names because they see other people do it. So I don't know. It's so hard to wrap my head around, honestly.
Where I'm getting at with the respect part of things is just that reality is subjective. My reality is different than your reality, is different than your reality, different than your reality.
100%, yeah.
Okay? And so, we see different things throughout the day. We experience different, we grew up differently. We might have things that are similar, okay? But at the end of the day, we have subjective experiences, okay? So to look at someone and say, your experience is completely invalid, that to me is inhumane. That to me calls back to, and I hate to draw the contrast of, World War II and the Holocaust, but God damn it,
It's hard not to.
How else do I, paint a vivid picture for you of hello, anybody home,
right.
So it's just one of those things right now that, please, let's respect one another. I don't agree with conservatives on a lot of economic things. I get it, but I respect you as a person. I respect you as a person. I don't think that you should die. I don't think that you should be deported. I don't think that, no, you're an American. We are all Americans. Great. Let's sit at the table. Let's have a discussion.
And to play devil's advocate, because obviously there's not enough of that, a lot of them would respond to that and saying, well, I do respect you as a person. I do respect you as the individual. However, and now what makes it hard to believe that from them is things like HB 675 in Montana.
It's the cognitive dissonance.
Which was is a law that was the goal of it was to revise the Montana state law as it relates to hypersexualized shows, and as you can probably guess, they mean queer performers, drag performers, in public that they felt are indecent for young people to see. Luckily, there are people who are standing up there. We'll play this video, but Representative Zoe Zephyr, who is a trans representative in Montana, gave an amazing speech on the floor of the Montana House. And I just want to play it because I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's a little lengthy, but really doing the brave work that conservatives think they're doing. This is actually what it means to be a representative and represent your constituents and all of your constituents. So I'm going to play just a little bit about this. Again, this was floor debate regarding banning drag shows in public. And so,
Representative Zephyr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Here I am again to rise on another bill targeting the LGBTQ community. I first want to start off and say, at its very core, drag is art. Drag is a beautiful art. Drag has a deep history in this country, and it is a history that is important to my community. If you are a woman in this body wearing a suit today, you are challenging gender norms that existed long ago. And in some ways, drag does work to challenge those norms. There were 3 articles of clothing laws 50 years ago that said if you wore 3 articles of clothing that were indicative of the opposite gender, that the police could stop you and arrest you. It was those laws that led to the police raiding an LGBTQ bar in New York and led to the Stonewall riots, one of the most important civil rights moments in my community's history.
this is irrelevant, but I just want to point out Queen in the back over the left shoulder.
Yes, with the beret.
With the beret, the glasses, really holding down the house. All right, here we go back to it.
I also want to reject the notion, however, that these are, as the sponsor says, events where explicit content is expected or where audience expect risque entertainment. Drag story hours I have been to here in Montana, they are like Disney princesses reading to people. We had people come in and talk about this. These are spaces where people come up and they sit down in libraries, and parents elect to bring their children and learn about books and the love of reading, and also, yes, be involved in part and to hear stories told from members of my community.
The really interesting thing about this, what she just said, parents elect, okay? There's a saying in Brazil, os incomodados que se retirem. Those that are uncomfortable, remove themselves.
Hello.
Okay? So you don't like what's being done here? Wonderful. Just leave. That's okay. It's not for you. Not everything is going to be for you. Okay?
You don't want to sit through a drag queen story time.
Don't go.
Leave.
Listen,
The best comparison I've heard for this is it's like a rated R movie. Take your child to the PG movie. Don't take them to the rated R movie. If you take them to the rated R movie, you know what the fuck you're signing up for, because they have the little screen that happens before the movie starts that says sexually explicit or whatever.
which is not to say that drag performers
No.
are rated R.
It's not to equate that.
just to
right?
clarify.
But it's
the
just to
choice.
clarify.
It's about the choice and the personal responsibility
Exactly.
of the parent.
If you take your child to a drag queen story hour, they're going to dress like a Disney princess.
Which, again, it's for kids.
It's for kids. If you take your child to a drag show at 11 p.m. at a nightclub, that is a much different story.
Wait. You mean context matters?
Context matters, believe it or not. If you take your child to a drag show at night, you have to know what you're signing up for. If you take them during, you have to know what you're signing up for in general. So the fact that they want to equate all drag shows,
one is in a library, one is in a nightclub. Okay.
But it's yet again, it's the same thing. It's just like not every musical is. Don't take your child to see Rent.
Not every movie. Not every movie is for children.
Not every television
not every
show.
book is for children.
Hello.
So it's not to say that the drag shows themselves. Okay, there's context in what is being. One is for kids. One is not for kids.
Right.
Okay.
It's the difference between a Dr. Seuss book and a book with Fabio on the cover. But
the issue is not the drag performer themselves.
It's correct.
It's
not
the
medium.
content.
It's not the medium.
No.
It's the content. And every artist deserves to put content out in the context to which they want to, right? The drag performance that I put on that's child friendly is not going to work at a nightclub. And the performance I do at a nightclub is not going to work for a child audience either.
I think
you got to know who you are as an artist.
What really grinds my gears is it's the fact that people have a hard time differentiating between what is sexual content and what is not. Okay, and it's almost I think it stems from this insecurity about sex itself. Maybe it stems from the fact that we do not have sexual education in this country. It is not educated well to people, to kids, to young adults as to how to prevent from STDs, how to have a good sexual life, that it is healthy. Okay, listen, I'm not talking about something that's crazy here. This is something that is a natural human occurrence, an experience that we all go. Now, some of us prefer not to go, asexual people prefer not to have that. But again, to deny that it even exists, it happens in your bathroom, goddammit. It happens in your bedroom.
Bathhouse.
And then, nobody talks about it. Sure, some people are like that.
That is the one thing I will say is there's a lot of Puritanism still very prevalent here in the United States, especially in regards to anything related to sex. So we can take it to sex ed, but even dealing with people sexualizing drag queens, people sexualizing trans people and saying that, they're not permitted in certain bathrooms, for example, because there is something wrong. There's something deranged happening there where you're going to, do something to a child that goes in there. Absolutely. What the fuck? Why was that connotation even there? That there's a hypersexualization, there's a demonization of people who are just trying to live their lives, people who just want to live, honestly. They just want to live. Do you know how many people would actually not be existing unless they transitioned? Let's wake that up. Let's talk about that. So the amount of LGBTQ people that need our community, that need support, that need love, that need to be treated with respect in order to live their lives.
And I think one of the ways you do that is to just wrap up what Miss Zoe Zephyr was saying here. She goes on to say that, a lot of these members in the house have met her kids because she's a mom, have met her kids, have met her family. And it turns out that after this speech, and there was another woman that spoke after Zoe, who was actually a Republican conservative woman, being like, guys, this is crazy. We talk about parental choice and parental rights, and then we're trying to pass shit like this. If I don't want to take my kid to a drag show, I don't have to, but that shouldn't mean that other parents don't get to make that choice for their own family and their own kids. And so then, because of this whole dialogue that happened in this floor meeting in Montana, 13 Republicans actually ended up flipping against the bill, and it didn't pass.
Wow.
Which I felt was just very...
Thank God for those 13 Republicans that were able to see the context, see the humanity in people, and act
I
in
hope that that's
accordance.
what it was. And
I hope so too. And I choose to view it, in that hopeful lens that people... There is still empathy. I saw this thing recently, going back to Elon Musk, where he was saying that the greatest, defect or downfall of Western society is empathy. I'm sorry, but literally the golden rule is to care for your neighbor. I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up, in the Christian tradition. And it's literally, hey, love God and love people.
Love thy neighbor, baby.
Love your neighbor. So that is literally utilizing empathy. So there's such a huge disconnect between, and I think that is why all these people are coming out to these town halls and yelling at their elected leaders.
Well,
because it's like, listen, you're not acting how I would act. A lot of these people, if you have a neighbor that is a trans person, I'm very, very 99.9% sure they're not going over there, with a bat trying to bash people's heads. No. They're decent and kind people, but all this rhetoric, all this, and so in the finger point, that's dangerous.
I'll never
folks.
forget, and obviously disagree with every single policy of John McCain, but I'll never forget in the town hall when he was running against Obama, a woman stood up and started saying nasty things about Obama, about his religion, about being a Muslim, being all these different things. And he gets down, he gets closer, and he says, no, that like we disagree on the content of policies, but he's a good person. Like you said, he's a decent, good man. Yeah. So we've definitely lost just ability in our country just to see the humanity in others. And so when there are people like Zoe Zephyr in Montana fighting at the state level, that's amazing. But then there's also people like Sarah McBride at the federal level in the federal government that are really holding down the fort for everyone. I don't know if you saw the video of they were in a committee meeting and the committee chair referred to her with as a male and male pronouns and all these things, and she cattingly. Like catty.
Yeah.
Like in a catty way.
Cattily.
In a catty way responded, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, not only Sarah McBride pushing back, but there was actually a older male representative that stood up for
from
her.
Massachusetts.
From Massachusetts. Shout out to Massachusetts. And just being like, this is fucked up. Like what happened to our just general sense of respect for each other? That's fine that you disagree, but we respect each other.
That's it.
In this space.
You don't have to be a trans person. You don't have to agree with what a trans person's experience is, but please have respect. If someone is telling you that they identify as I believe in the two sexes, that's fine. Keep your beliefs. That's fine. That's nobody's got a problem with that.
But that's not everyone's experience. That's the thing.
Absolutely. But I don't believe that they're a woman.
Okay,
wonderful.
great.
That's great. But they do. So at the very least, just refer to it. Doesn't hurt. Yeah. It doesn't change anything.
It's a lot of ego of people just being like, why do they get to be who they want to be?
I don't see it that way. Wonderful. Okay, that's not a problem. They do. Okay?
That is really where I come from, is how does it harm you?
It doesn't.
To respect that person. Even if they
because it's woke. It's woke ideology. And that's the catch-all for it, is it's woke.
Yet again, it's
how do you argue with that?
This whole thing that empathy is somehow weak. Yeah. It's this whole thing that you have to be strong and you must, fight for America and all. Like, no, how about we hold hands and we cuddle and we all have respect for each other?
And listen,
it's not hard to do. It doesn't take anything out of your day, your time, your mentality to be nice to someone else.
And so many people are approaching this from this whole Christian nationalist approach. That is dangerous territory, folks. That is very dangerous territory. Listen, let me tell you, right? Literally, this country is built and founded on the separation of church and state, because those are two different institutions that act in two different ways. Now, you want to have your faith, you want to have your religion. Have it. That's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful spiritual experience that you have, okay? But not everybody is of your religion. Not everybody is of your faith. So to impose what you think is sin on someone else, my friend, listen, again, coming from, growing up in the Christian tradition, you don't do that. You don't impose what you think, but they're sinning and they're going to hell. Well, let them then. Let them. They'll find out with God at some point, okay? Let them. And that's my thing of like, it's just, just have respect. That's it. This notion of trying to change people and trying to make them molded more like how you see things, or oh my God, listen, not everybody's going to be like you. And I think it goes back to the same thing that we're talking about. Not every movie is for you. Not every book is for you. Not every story, not every person is for you.
Exactly.
Okay? There are sometimes friends that you're like, listen, I love you. I don't want to be friends with you.
I'm happy you brought that up, actually, because no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess this is my time. I'm leaving the pod now.
I think that's a good transition to our next segment.
Yeah.
Which is the swear jar.
Oh.
Ooh.
Listen, but just to wrap this up, I just want to say that above everything, have love, have kindness, okay? Above everything else that is going in the world, have love and have kindness. Everybody has problems. Everybody is going through something. Everybody is suffering in some way, okay? So to recognize that in others, that is not a weak spot.
Yeah.
That is a strength, okay? To be able to rally with each other and say, hey, I might not see the world exactly how you see it. I might not say the right pronouns. I might not do this or do that. But I see your humanity, you know? Because today, maybe you're on top. But tomorrow...
Absolutely. I always say that love is always around us. It's everywhere we are. It's in nature. It's with other people. And so you just have to give other people love and you will receive it back. You know, I do believe in that kind of like instant karma. If you believe, you know, maybe you believe that of just like, if you do good, good will come to you. If you give love, love will come to you. However that looks, it doesn't have to be romantic love or whatever, but you know, people don't have to be your best friend, of course, but just treat people with kindness. Yeah. And they will do the same to you. If you judge...
You reap what you sow.
Exactly.
So well, you know, to use this kind of more religious terminology of, you know, hey, like plant good things and you will see, you know, a good harvest from it.
It's the other thing that I think you have been saying this. We've gotten away from those values, though, of just like, you know, I think the purpose of many religions is to love thy neighbor, to treat people with respect, to not steal, to not kill.
Which that's the thing that boils me sometimes of like, I see some of these people go up there and you know, say that they're a Christian or they're a Christian nationalist. And I'm like, huh?
But Christian nationalist has, like, it's an oxymoron almost. Like,
absolutely.
How can you be,
not mix.
How can you be devoted to God and Jesus, but also devoted to a secular state? How?
Oh my God.
Tell me, as someone who grew up as a Jehovah's Witness and who has seen people who are strictly devoted to Jesus and devoted to Jehovah God, bitch, you can't be devoted to both. And it's actually in that religion particularly, frowned upon to be in the military, to even stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance at school,
to donate blood,
to you know, to salute or anything like that, because
it's showing allegiance to an earthly kingdom.
It's a false icon,
and absolutely,
it's a false icon in that view. So,
which again, here's my thing, I'm not against the Jehovah's Witness. That is a religion that is, hey, great, wonderful. I don't want to practice it.
And let me tell you,
I shouldn't be forced to practice something that I don't want to do.
And let me tell you, every Jehovah's Witness who, you know, yes, they'll knock on your door and they will try to proselytize. But if you say no, they're not trying to, they're not they're not trying to coerce you. Yeah. They're okay, that's fine. Maybe next time. You know, or, you know, whatever. They're not trying to. But yes, I think just to wrap this up, love and empathy needs to be what we put at the forefront. And yeah.
Absolutely. The swear jar. The swear jar is a segment where we pull up a random topic from our generated trusty computers and we talk about it for about a minute, okay? So we have not prepped any of these topics beforehand. And
I've
Zach,
prepped, but that's different.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Zach, we're going to start with you. Okay?
Great.
Our first topic is going to be, what word or saying from the past do you think should come back? And your minute starts now.
Oh, there's so many good ones. You know, I'm always a fan of shenanigan. Like using the word shenanigans. We're up to shenanigans. We're going to get into some shenanigans. I think that's a good one. I also like words like, you know, like carpetbagger.
Oh.
I don't know what that one means.
I don't know either. I think it's a political term of like someone from.
Sounds kind of sexual, not going to lie.
Oh. Lesbians, wake it up. Carpetbagger.
So a carpetbagger is a political candidate who seeks election in an area where they have no local connections.
So this was like a very, I think like, scallywags.
I was going to say I use
Scallywags is-
carpetbaggers and scalawags.
You know what? Actually,
Yeah.
I really like the word. Oh, well, now I lost it.
Oh, no.
A scallywag I like, though. Scallywag I'm into. So we can just roll with that. Oh, why can't I just think? Oh, scuttlebutt. I like the word scuttlebutt a lot. Like, what's the scuttlebutt? It's basically like gossip.
okay.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt.
Chisme.
So, yeah, chisme. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, standing around the water cooler and you get the scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
Yeah, so I like that word, too. So, scallywags, carpetbaggers. Carpetbaggers.
And shenanigans.
And shenanigans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, very turn of the century.
There's
Yeah.
4 words for you.
Okay, well, thank you for the swear jar. Thank you very much. We appreciate your participation.
Anytime you bleep, 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 bleep.
That's the swear jar.
Shenanigans, everyone. Next up, we have Alex. Can you stop clicking the thing so I can tell you what the yeah, you're trying to find it. It's supposed to be random, not the one that you like.
I want a good random one.
Records, tapes, CDs, MP3s, streaming. Which did you grow up with? What is good and bad about each?
Wow. Okay.
Your time starts now.
Records, tapes, CDs, MP3s, and streaming. So clearly I know what each of them are. My furthest memory is CDs, I believe. I remember having the binder of CDs that you would have. You put all your CDs, you put it in your car, and then you just that's the sound for putting it.
Technical.
Yeah.
I still have one. Down
Yeah,
here.
no, we still have
I
one.
still have one too. Yeah.
And then MP3s, I guess, do they mean like Apple, like iTunes and things like that?
iPod and
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely did that. Like, I remember like having my little iPod Touch with the circle navigator.
Yeah.
And
no, that wasn't an iPod Touch. That was just an iPod.
or an iPod. Yeah, just an iPod, not an iPod. Sorry,
I gotta correct the record.
Did you have a
iPod.
big one that was like
It was the
hockey
chunky
puck?
one.
Ah,
It was the chunky one.
Yes,
Yeah,
those were good.
But I remember having that, and then streaming is obviously what we're in right now. And so yeah, I think I started with CDs, moved to MP3s, and then now we are in the unfortunate world of streaming. Oh, look at that!
Oh,
Right on.
that was it.
Wow.
Wow, great job.
Wow, nice.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, let's
Rafa?
go to our random generated one more time.
I'll
Thank
read
you.
yours.
And what did you do this?
I'll read it for you. You're the one answering.
Huh?
I'm reading it for you.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
He's ready.
What did you do this past weekend? Your time starts now.
Oh God, what did I do this past weekend? What did I do Friday?
Sounds interesting.
You have 53 seconds.
Oh my God. Okay. So this past weekend. Oh my God, my memory. This past weekend, we had a lot of fun. We had great experiences. You know, it was wonderful. I had breakfast. I had lunch.
Did you have dinner?
I had dinner. You know, did we see a show? Did we see a show? Oh my God, I don't have my phone. I can't even look at my calendar. Oh my God.
Oh, our friend Jesse came over and hung out.
Oh yeah,
I had rehearsal all day, and then Jesse came over.
Thank you. This is my secretary over here.
Yeah.
You know, excuse me, my assistant. You know, it's not secretary anymore. So yes, our friend Jesse came over. We had some wine and cheese and some snacks, and we scuttlebutt.
Had some scuttlebutt.
We had some scuttlebutt. Yes,
That was a glorious weekend too.
Sounds riveting.
I love that our memories are very strong. Well, that's the swear jar.
Wow, I feel so sworn.
Me too.
I don't know. Well, on to the next. Are you guys ready to come clean?
I love it. This is one of my favorites.
This is usually my favorite as well. I really like to come clean with you guys on the podcast. And yeah, so this is our segment entitled Come Clean, where we can really bring up anything that we would like to just
And I'd like to talk about Chuck Schumer this week.
Okay.
I have a
Get us
few
started.
Hang on. You have to do the glasses as you do this. Yeah, there we go.
I'd like to talk a little bit about Chuck Schumer this week.
Yes. Tell us, Chuck. Tell us
Come
how
on,
you
Charlie.
feel.
Leadership. Leadership means doing dangerous things, Chuck. Leadership doesn't mean siding with the opposition to keep the government open, Chuck. Look, I only know so much about government, but Chuck, you got to stand up for the people. So I'm a little salty with Mr. Chuck Schumer right now for being one of 10 Republicans that voted, or 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans for their the continuing resolution to keep the government open. I understand his thinking of, well, we have to keep things open because it's going to hurt people. It's going to give the Trump administration and Elon Musk more power to do whatever they want to do. Newsflash, Chuck. They're already doing what they want to do, my guy. So maybe grow a backbone, grow a spine, and do something for us. Thank you.
Wow.
Damn it, Chuck.
Listen, this show's been very political today. I had no. Wow. I kind of like it.
I'm not against it.
I kind of like it.
I mean, everything's inherently political.
I know,
So-
nowadays.
That's very true. That's true. Our very own existences.
Truly.
Well, Zach, what is your come clean for this week?
You know, my come clean is a little different,
Okay.
but similar.
Okay.
I want to talk about, everyone talks about how sexy firemen and police officers and construction workers are. And while, yes, they are, I want to talk about how sexy UPS drivers are. And if there are any sexy single UPS drivers out there, I'm available. But
He's looking for a package to be delivered.
a couple. I have a few that are delayed, I believe. But every time I see a UPS driver getting out of that truck,
It's the
delivering
shorts.
their
It's
package,
the shorts for me.
It is the shorts.
The shorts.
They are so caked
Yeah.
up. They
Yeah.
are so filling out those shorts.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this. None of them wear a belt.
No.
They are, that
No.
ass is shelved
Yeah.
and keeping those shorts right there on that waist. It is.
I'd like to include as part of your
Yeah.
come clean here, Amazon drivers. Too.
Yes.
No,
You don't-
no.
Yes.
No. Listen,
No,
not the
Amazon
company, the drivers.
The Amazon drivers
Hey,
deserve some respect.
We stand. We
The com-
stand with the employees.
The company may not, but the Amazon drivers, they be kicked up
Yes,
too. And
yes.
they listen, postal worker, Amazon
Yes.
delivery driver,
yes.
Uber delivery driver.
FedEx?
Honestly,
Yes. DoorDash.
you can come in this back door anytime you'd like. So, yeah, that's my thing I would like to come clean about. And if anyone wants to come clean with me after the podcast, I'll send you my address and you can drop off my UPS package. Sorry, we really brought it there. Anyway, Rafa, what's yours?
For me, listen, I was thinking about this a lot this week, and I love rail. I love
Oh yeah.
railway stations. I'm a big rail guy. I love trains.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah. Love me a good train.
Loves to get run on a
You
train.
know, Amtrak. But listen, my come clean this week is subway stations. Why are they so dirty in the United States? Like, I don't get this. We are the richest country on earth. Why do we have so shitty subway stations? Like, you go to New York, okay? New York City. I love the metro system. It's very well connected. It goes a lot of different places. Why are these stations so shitty? They're falling apart. They're dark. It just feels like I don't want to be here right now, you know. And then you go to subway stations around the world in different places. They're so clean. They're well lit. Signage is abundant. Okay, here in Massachusetts, in Boston, same exact thing. Have you been to some of the subway stations on the Red Line, on the Orange? Have you been to Downtown Crossing? Oh my God. Okay, I cannot just no. We need to do something about this. Okay, like I am fed up.
Phil
with,
Lang is working on it.
It's just thank you, Phil Lang. Thank you. We stand Phil Lang here on this pod.
The trains themselves and the tracks have been improving over the years. Now I think
Yes.
the next thing is the
The
stations. specifically.
stations,
Yeah.
please.
They're
all
a little
I'm
grody,
asking is
yeah.
for abundant lighting. Okay, and listen, that helps to deter crime. For
Signage.
example.
It's
More
literally like
signage.
one flickering light in
Yeah.
a corner, and then like a dangling sign just over here,
And then somebody trying to
That's
sell you
it.
cocaine in the corner. Yeah.
That's it. Like, listen, I
and then a
was
rat eating a pizza.
I was on the Green Line, the D branch, just yesterday. Okay, and I got in, and it was one of the new Green Line cars, which I'm very thankful for. Thank you very much. But I sat down and I just looked at this train. And I'm like, how dirty this thing is. Like, it's just like, was this not cleaned? Like, I get it. I know. It's a lot of stuff. It's
we don't
huge
fund
network.
it though. We don't fund it, so that's why.
But it's just like, oh my God, like it's public transport. Like, please.
What's
no
the-
wonder more people don't use it.
I know, right? What's the best public transit you've been on? What's the best subway?
Montreal. Montreal was really good.
Montreal was
Had a
really
really
nice.
nice.
Montreal's
nice
great,
station.
beautiful.
Listen, São Paulo.
Yeah, it has really nice.
São
ones.
Paulo Metro.
Yeah.
It's very open.
Very beautiful, very open. And granted, I get the weather part of it, but also like on the Orange Line, there's Orange Line and Green Line. There are stations that are wide open. So
During the middle
don't
of
give me this
winter,
thing
yeah.
about the weather of it's too cold, so we gotta no. That doesn't it doesn't
Yes.
check out.
There's something
okay,
around the wide open.
but Montreal was really nice.
Montreal is nice.
It's very, very organized, very well lit, signage, clean. São Paulo, listen, São Paulo has over, I think it's 25 million people. So it's a huge ass city. And the metro's clean. Like, it's very well organized, runs on time. Like, so the idea of like, well, we just don't have the funds. How the hell is São Paulo able to do it? A third world country, quote unquote. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So that's my rant this week. It's subway stations. How are we and honestly, high speed rail. How do we not have high speed rail in this country?
I know.
Okay?
crazy.
Thank you for the Acela. The Acela, was born in the early 2000s. It's a wonderful service. It works great. But that in no way in comparison to what Europe is doing, what Asia is doing with high-speed rail. Like, guys. And, we have the Bright Line in Florida. We have the Bright Line in Vegas that they're trying to do the thing. And but recently I was also reading about Trump and Musk also trying
to
to
cancel
defund
that,
the high-speed rail lines. Of
course.
Which is like, you just want to sell more cars? Is that what it is?
So they can buy, it's Teslas.
No.
Thank you for letting the people know about the need for better subway stations in the U.S.
I just want
I will
more
say
rail.
maybe the nicest in the U.S. for me is D.C.
DC's, yeah.
I say DC
Yeah, DC's
has
Metro.
the nicest stations. The trains aren't always the
But
best.
listen,
they have
DC,
a good system
DC
though.
went through a huge overhaul. The federal government went in, took it over, did a whole overhaul on it. Okay, I'm not saying that you need to, the federal government needs to take
Needs
over.
to do that, but-
That's not what I'm saying. But in that instance itself, they did a complete overhaul, and look what happened.
Yeah. Those stations are beautiful. Yeah.
But it's gonna cost money. Yeah, no shit. Like the red line. I know. I'm going a little long, but the red line train, for example.
I didn't say anything.
Wait,
If my eye
you
said
looked at me,
something, then
okay.
then you speak I and E.
Wow. But look, like the red line, there's some of the tunnels that are from the early 1900s. So I get it. It's old. I get it. So let's maintain it. Let's do the upkeep, do the maintenance. And how in the hell,
Talk to Europe about old.
Honestly,
we want to talk about old.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, they have to
yeah.
deal with centuries and centuries. So
And it's a public good. It's a public good. Not everybody is, wealthy enough where they can afford a car. Okay, at least the bus systems, are better around
and in the
here.
city, it's not always efficient to have a car. It's not always the best
No.
form of transit for people. So people need to get around with trains and buses and other things. So
And last but not least, electrify the commuter rail. That's all I'm saying. Electrify the commuter rail. Okay, that helps with the carbon emissions and it's cool. It's cool. They can go a lot faster. They can stop a lot sooner. It'll help with the trains being on time. Anyway, all right. Let me get off my soapbox.
Easy science is magnets. Anyway,
well, fund education and fund the trains. That's it.
Yeah, don't get even started on the education.
Well, that's that.
That's that.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for episode 2 of the Loud Whispers podcast. If you enjoyed the bullshit that we talked about, feel free to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Loud Whispers Pod. We're also on YouTube. That's the best way to stay up to date on new episodes coming out, clips that we have coming out, just any general information about the pod.
We are on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes, that's what I just said. And
I was just reiterating. Can I not reiterate?
Do you guys want to promote your own personal accounts?
Oh, my personal account, if you want to follow me, is Alexander Taylor 97. It's Alexander with the Z in the middle, so it's Alex Zander Taylor 97.
And mine is Hafa C Silva, all over the interwebs, so you can find me there. Some of my accounts have an underscore at the end. Some of them don't. You know how
Just
it is.
look around.
You know how it is. Someone took it. It is what it is.
And you can find me at Lucy_corkscrew. That's LOOSI_corkscrew. And if you want to follow my boy account, send me a DM, you UPS drivers.
Thank you to the UPS drivers of the world. Thank you to everyone for watching. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.